the last generation of Down syndrome children. When you hear this, what do you think about? The first time I heard this was in a news article in the Daily Telegraph. When I read this for the first time, I was challenged. Why would anyone be eradicated from society because of a disability? In this case, Down syndrome. Down syndrome is a genetic disorder that you're born with and is caused by an error in the cell division, and it creates problems with the way the body develops. It's associated with an intellectual disability, characteristic facial appearance, and a weak muscle tone in infancy. Pregnant women are routinely offered screening for Down syndrome at 12 weeks and given the choice to terminate or carry on with pregnancy. According to the World Health Organization, the number varies depending on the region. But for example, in the EU, out of the 4.1 million babies who are born, there's only 5,000 Down syndrome children who are born each year. In the UK, 90% of the fetuses are aborted when they are diagnosed with Down syndrome. But why? Do pregnant couples see this large percentage that influences their option, that abortion is the only option? This made me wonder, are we uncomfortable with raising a Down syndrome child? Surely as a society, we should be normalizing and promoting the values of a neurodiverse community. We are all different and unique in our own ways, because life on Earth would be very boring if we were all the same. Don't get me wrong. I'm not against pregnant couples having a choice. It's an amazing improvement that technology allows us to diagnose a fetus inside a human's womb and gives the parents time to educate themselves on how to take care of the child before it is born. People making a decision to raise a child with a disability or learning challenge need to consider the financial and emotional support around them, because we all feel more empowered if we have a support team. Whilst learning about Down syndrome, I was curious to know the thoughts of my family and friends with children and asked them, what would they have done if their child was diagnosed with Down syndrome? One of them said, well, I would have aborted. I was shocked. However, I do realize that at the time, it was different. There was less support systems, acceptance, and experience with Down syndrome. Now it's different. There are many online websites where parents can go to ask for help. For example, National Down Syndrome Society or Positive About Down Syndrome. These resources allow parents to talk to each other and when they are in a difficult situation. We are privileged to have these opportunities, but there are still changes which need to be made for parents to feel supported with having a child with Down syndrome or any other disability. One of the ways we can have a more positive look on Down syndrome is to educate students, not only about mental disabilities, but physical as well. This will give us a better understanding of others and normalize the idea that an individual is so much more than just their disability. Then when students go out into the world, we will understand the advantages of being neurodiverse, and hopefully jobs will be made more available for a more diverse population. In a BBC documentary, Sally Phillips states, what kind of society will we like to live in, and is it always our job to take away people's lives? I feel like we should all be thinking about this question. It is one of the many ways we can change people's mindsets from criticizing and judging others because they are solely different from you. I don't know what it's like to have Down syndrome, but I do know what it's like to have a label stuck to you for your entire life. And having people judge you just because you're different on a daily basis. Firstly, we need to remove the stigma around Down syndrome and other intellectual disabilities. We need to educate not only adults but children in their older years of primary school and onwards about the neurodiverse community. This will allow them as adults to understand about different people, so if their child is diagnosed with a disability, they will understand and feel more comfortable with having it. There are already groups which have been made available for Down syndrome, such as Trisomy 21, which is a group based in Luxembourg, who organises cooking and dance classes, and many others. The Oxford Bulls are based in the UK and are a football team. The world needs more groups like this. But what will make them spectacular is instead of having one group for one disability, make them for all kinds of children, whether they have a disability or not. This will allow them to recognise each other's uniquenesses. In this safe environment, children can flourish and become who they want to be, where there's no judgment. But imagine what it would be like if everywhere was like this, a safe environment for them to be on a daily basis. Another way to ensure a balanced understanding of others and of the neurodiverse community is to see them represented on TV. Imagine what it would be like to see yourself, who is much older, on TV. The child will be filled with joy, because that one day that could be them. It also benefits parents, because they see how their child can be when they are older, and they can understand that it is okay to have a child who is unique. There are many people who are breaking the barriers and showing what people with Down syndrome can do. For example, in 2019, Zach Gottesgun was the first presenter for the Oscars who had Down syndrome. Sujeta Sai has mastered 7 instruments and plays at the Carnegie Hall in New York City. Chelsea Werner came from having little movement to becoming 2-time world champion gymnast and has since become a model. These examples are people with Down syndrome who have overcome obstacles in their daily lives. Being successful and achieving goals is achievable for everyone who works hard. So knowing support systems are available and by improving education, we will all have a deeper understanding of others, which will make pregnant couples have a safe choice which is right for them. We all have a long way to go, but if we remove the stigma around Down syndrome and other disabilities and celebrate our unique differences, this will already be a bright step a positive step in the right direction for society. Thank you.